this is something Gus would have like hashed out with like Lucius or somebody who actually knows how nobles works. What is so if he just walks in and say I'm a member of this done for us thing, they can't prove a negative. So,
well, the burden of proof is on him in this case.
Yeah, the way that we've discussed it in the past, Gus, is that essentially we need, like, our job isn't to prove that he's a Fireblood, it's to find somebody who's important enough to believe that he is a Fireblood. Like, we just need to get him on the seat. Get him
or just have if we get a new king, just have the new king say, yeah, you're the head of House Fireblood now and they're a noble house.
Uh-huh.
So, and, yeah, okay.
Or the current king, but he seems a little busy.
On the 8th, I realize we're going through a lot of days. We'll be able to fill in downtime actions if we want to go back through as well. How many days was it going to take for Alex to finish all the gear he's making?
6.
6 days. Okay, so this is the 4th of 6 days.
And I'll take off the 30 gold pieces and components I need for that.
Okay. On
you
the
can get
8th.
if we can get 3 weeks, then I do want to train them for 3 weeks.
If everybody's agreeable, we can just go ahead and do the 3 weeks. That's fine with me.
Yeah. I have plenty of downtime actions I'd like to take.
You're going to have to deal with Choreo again.
Choreo again.
On the 8th, so this is 4 days after the proclamation, you're visited by Inaharis Warlock's Bane. Comes down to the barge. And
What news does she have for us?
She's dressed for a long journey. She tells you that she's going to set out with some of the advance guard. That she has great experience in fighting the undead. She has offered her services to the crown to go out with an advance guard. However, she'd also heard that Gus was spending a lot of time training up young Kevin, who she's met briefly here and there. And she's come to offer her services for tonight. She can actually summon real-life zombies in a contained kind of way to offer Elman and Kevin some hands-on practice.
Yes. Yes.
Do you need someone on hand for medical relief?
No, she can handle this.
Okay.
This is going to have to be done outside the city walls, and it will have to be done in the middle of the night. And Elman doesn't want to do this at all.
That's a shame.
Elman.
Too bad, Elman.
This is to give you the best chance you can for coming back. You're friends with you're a friend of mine by proxy, and
damn.
Like,
Gus really doesn't like to massage the truth.
No, he doesn't.
I'm going to. This is the best. Yes, let's go.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hand Kevin my mace. Remember, Kevin, something larger than you hits with you. Roll with it and lay on the ground dead.
Aim for the knees, Kevin. Aim for the knees.
Kevin, always make sure to burn the bodies.
Ooh, I might actually have to start making some holy water after this.
All right, so that night, Gus, you're going out with them?
Yes.
And she does. She has some kind of ritual where she lays out patterns on the ground. And the creatures that she's raising up out of the mud are not literally zombies, because she's not actually using dead bodies for this. She hasn't gone and robbed a bunch of graves. But they look like zombies, and they smell like death, but they're actually just made out of the earth itself. Elman pees himself at least twice. Kevin is very deft at these creatures. I mean, you can see the shock in his face the first time because he's been fighting you in a training dummy up until now. And he's still moving very awkwardly in what pieces of armor Alex has finished by this point. But after a while, I mean, you're showing him the weak points to strike for. It becomes clear that Elman's going to be worthless, but that Kevin might actually have a shot.
Right. Elmond in particular, I'm teaching him to not to attack, but just keep himself alive.
Okay.
Just hide behind your shield. Block here. Block here. If you get a chance, aim for the face, but just block. Stay behind the shield.
I'm gonna
help defend Kevin's side.
Seeker, you had previously met with Warlock's Bane on the
Yeah.
subject of the hand you found, and you did. I forget now. Did you tell the story about where you got that?
Warlock's Bane knows everything.
Okay, so Gus, while you're out there and you're standing there watching Elman and Kevin fight against these like mud creatures, she asks you if you can recall the site of the house you visited, because on her travel north, she would like to take a sojourn to it.
I'll give her directions and tell her that we burnt the house down,
But it had a basement.
It had a basement that we did clear.
Yeah.
Except the unnaturally cold grave room.
I mean, we took the
We took
caskets
the
outside.
coffins out.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
in one of the coffins is what we found, where we found the hand. And I'll tell her about the halfling wagon driver as well, and how he's actually the one that directed us to the house. And we don't know if he knew his so-called family were a bunch of vampires, but he was carrying some kind of contraband. We just didn't, probe further because it wasn't any of our business. We were in a hurry.
She asked you to describe the wagon and what it was carrying to the best of your ability.
I will. I don't actually, as a player, I don't remember. It was carrying vegetables on the outside. We didn't look at what was in the inside.
Right.
But I will describe the guy.
She listens very, very intently.
And I'll ask her, I was like, do you know anybody that can open a portal to the elemental plane of fire?
She does not, sadly.
Because I think that'd be the best thing for the hand. If you come across that, let me know.
Does she know if the undead are conscious enough mentally to go for someone who is a more visible target, or if we should try to
She doesn't know
Black
anything
Kevin's armor.
specifically yet, and won't until she gets closer to the situation. And by that point, she won't be in a position to come back and report to you what she knows.
What
She
is
says-
Warlock's Bane going to be doing?
What she's going to be doing is she's going to be traveling out in advance of the army to assess the situation and help the advance guard in any way she can with her knowledge on binding demons and fighting evil monsters.
If you can, if you end up in the same place as Kevin, watch out for him, please.
She will.
And what's his name? Elmond. I legitimately forgot his name. Is Elmond, right?
And my friend by proxy. On the 11th.
mostly Kevin though.
So
McDohl
fun
sounds
stuff
like
is
he wanted to
happening.
Say something.
I don't care what McDohl wanted to say, because he's going to want to hear what I have to say. On the
I
11th,
would love to hear it.
Florian, your Flumph sign is done.
Excellent.
Yay!
So you owe 50 gold on the back end of that.
Florian puffers it out of petty cash.
Where do you put it?
Well, Florian has plans for it.
Okay.
So, what does it look like? How is it? Is it?
I mean, it's
Some marble.
it's not exquisite,
Right.
because it was a rush job and you got it kind of cheaply done, and you hired on an apprentice to do the work. It's sturdy. It can be cleaned easily. It would take a lot to break it, and it looks like what you asked for.
Excellent. All right. Florian has plans for this.
Are you going to share with us?
That sounds like a threat.
He's going to just beat someone to death with it. Just drop it on someone.
So, Florian has this great spell called Magic Mouth, right?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I called it.
You'll love
You're gonna have to
see
take
it.
some more money out of the petty cash for the components for that, by the way.
And it's a great because it stays on until dispelled, right?
Oh my
Trigger of 30
God.
feet.
This is why I don't have plate mail, Brick Road.
So,
Hey, when you start bringing in business, you can complain about play late now.
I didn't think of this until just now, but almost certainly Dunfoss has a city ordinance against using Magic Mouth for purposes of advertisement because of the noise pollution applications of the spell.
Are we?
Oh, it's not going to be noise pollution. Don't worry.
But we're like outside of the city walls, though, right?
Well, so Florian,
So Florian's plan was to hang it outside, and whenever we're not around, and this Flumph would greet them with Magic Mouth, saying, "Thank you for coming to Flumph Inc. None of our detectives are in right now, but if you'll leave your information with our great secretary.
You
We'll
want to
get
make
back
an answering
Yeah.
machine.
Yes. And it's a threat icon, which is perfect. I told you this was a really fun, dumb Florian thing.
No, it's an
So,
amazing
here's
Florian
a-
thing.
You get to determine the circumstance that will trigger the spell. This is probably
Mhm.
going to require like a toggle on Florian's part.
Okay.
Like train it with a keyword or something. Because we can't really set a circumstance like if nobody's here. Because a lot of times at least one person's here, but none of you guys
Mhm.
are.
Well, I was assuming we would hang it every time we're not in, and then when someone approaches, it just triggers.
You could make the circumstance something like when this object is on the desk, and then we just put the object there, and no one else is here.
Yeah, you could do
Like,
something
you
like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be
Cool.
clear here, Florian, you want to take money out of petty cash to make a statue that tells people we're not here right now. Please come and rob us.
No? The detectives aren't here. I mean, what's her name? What's our secretary?
Linda.
Name? Linda's
Linda will be
always
here.
here. Yes.
So it says the triggering circumstance can be as general or as detailed as you like, though it must be based on visual or audible conditions that occur within 30 feet of the objects.
Yeah. So my plan was we hang it up when all the detectives are out, and then when someone approaches, this Flumph talks to them. Says, "Thank you for coming to Flumph Inc. None of us are here right now, but if you need information with our secretary."
All of our detectives are currently engaged.
Exactly.
None of us are here right now.
Plus, it's a Flumph. Like, how
Yes.
great is that?
Okay, so we got that set up.
Well done, McDohl. Well done, McDohl.
What was the date for that?
That was the 11th.
Okay, so and the King's proclamation was on the 3rd,
The 4th.
the 4th. Okay, so it took me 6 days to make the equipment, so I'm free on the 10th. All right.
Okay.
What is 10 Sales doing during this time? What is he up to?
I did tell you guys. By the way, Gus would have told you about Tencel's late night visit and threatening that other man with a gun.
Okay.
10 Sales is keeping kind of a low profile after the proclamation. It's going to require some actual detective work to suss out why, though. He's not completely on the DL. You can still visit him. He's still out and about in town. He's still spreading money around. He's definitely still calling himself the king. And his ship is still sitting in the king's spot in the harbor.
What happened to his crew?
They're on shore leave. They scattered all through the town.
Okay.
He doesn't need to keep tabs on them until it's time to set sail again. His most loyal crew are around him almost all the time. So yeah, I mean, you can spend some downtime looking into it if you like. The next thing doesn't happen until the 17th, which is another week from now.
Florian is curious, so he would definitely investigate that.
Are you going to try to find this out without 10 Sales knowing? Or do you care if he knows? Like, you can just roll up on him and ask him what's up.
Honestly, Lucius is kind of of a mind to ask him. Say, what are you going to do for the effort to assist?
He is also part of a boat hold.
When you ask him what he plans to do as part of the effort, he says he's neither, as far as he knows, he's not a citizen of Dunfoss. He doesn't have holdings here. He's not the king yet.
With respect, it would probably go a long way to convincing that if you want the seat that you so claim, to put forth some sort of effort to supporting this current war effort.
Perhaps. Or perhaps the war is folly. Maximilian will be seen as a fool. The dwarves will suffer a great defeat. And anyone who supported the war will be seen as... I suppose stupid is too strong a word.
Possibly, yes, but I do concede your point there. Lucius can leave it at that.
Florian, are you making an actual investigation into the matter?
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me that check.
Investigation. That is a 20.
You get two different stories. Word on the streets are that Ten Sails has rallied some number of men from his crew that are going to march north to kind of represent the Whistlers on the fields. That Ten Sails has some kind of magical weapons or magical knowledge that is used to fight the undead. The reason being that a man who lives his whole life at sea comes across derelict ghost ships and other things from the deep. The actual story you're able to put together is, to the best of your knowledge, Ten Sails has put together the 500 gold stipend, and his support has stopped there. You cannot confirm any of these stories that men from the Whistler are getting magical equipment together to march north. However, Ten Sails seems perfectly content to let the people believe that's the case.
And
Interesting.
with what with what I was able to get from him, face to face, it would seem that him just paying off the 500 gold would be the more likely of what happened.
I find the timing to be suspect in all of this.
Timing is suspect.
Yeah. He just magically shows up, and then, a week later, we're going to war. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On the
Alex Jones.
17th, Alex, you receive a sending on your sending stone.
Okay.
From your good old friend Tom Wolf.
Tom Wolf.
He is safely arrived in Blue Worm with the Gnarljack.
Gnarljack, yeah.
He has a contact in town. An old master of his, who he trained under some years ago. He returned to Blue Worm to find that his master's house stood empty. His servants and one of his children are still there, and they're still interested in purchasing the Gnarljack for research and study, and because it's as a curiosity when their father returns home, would love to have it. He's negotiated a price of 3,500 gold pieces. Here's the problem. Tom Wolf does not believe for a second that his master just vanished into thin air. He cannot find any evidence that his master has traveled anywhere, doesn't know anybody who knows where he went. He suspects foul play is afoot. Also, he 100% thinks you should sell the Gnarljack to these people for 3,500 gold. Because he's been traveling for a very long time, and his cut of that profit would go a long way to getting him a hot bath, a good meal, and a whore.
Also, the whole old man legs thing.
Also would be helped by a hot bath, a good meal, and a whore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the one with the sending stone, and I have no problem with selling it. Was 35 what you guys agreed to?
I think originally you guys talked like 2,000 or so.
35 sounds good to us.
Yeah. I'll also tell him that if he needs investigation of the foul play of his master, Flumph Inc.'s rates are very reasonable.
I was thinking that too, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good job, Seeker. You're getting us trained very well.
What if Tom comes back and says he's going to hire you guys? Are you prepared to travel to Blue Worm?
I think we could.
Honestly,
Depending on
for like,
All the good men of Dunfoss are marching north to war. Flumph Inc. sneaking out the back. We're going to go south.
What's the cost of a
No,
teleport circle teleportation?
You don't have access to a teleport circle.
That's why I was wondering what the cost of hiring one would be. Someone has to have one.
So,
Not in Dunfoss.
here's the
Not to your
question
knowledge,
though.
anyway.
Is like if our investigation for Choreo Fireblood takes us south to Blue Worm, we could kill two birds with one stone.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Which way, by the way? Because there's something I've been thinking of. The Firebloods had a house outside of the city. Which direction is it?
The Firebloods had a house outside the city?
You said they had a house. They had an estate outside of the city. I recall. Is that wrong?
Not my recollection. They had a manor house inside of the city,
Okay.
and Elda Fireblood established. Actually, I'm not sure of the answer to this, but I'm sure he must have established some kind of grounds or premises in Blue Worm after the initial tavern. No, I remember now. He built a watchtower, and in the basement of the watchtower, Elda is where he and Terran established a teleport circle connecting to Kiska. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the demo plane.
and that's what Eldov's holdings would be. But no, they wouldn't. As far as I know, they don't have an estate outside of the city.
I mean, if we're in Blue Worm, we could always take a crack at that staff, too. It's the greatest mystery of our time.
So,
On the 17th, I finished the research on the bag of holding, so I would know what I need, like the component I need.
Okay.
At this point, all I need is that, and I can stitch the thing together.
Do we have an answer for that, or was that something I was supposed to look up?
That was something that was on the DM.
Okay, no problem. I will do that then before next session. So, really, it comes down to a decision that you're going to have to make so I know what to plan, like how to plan the adventures out. On one hand, you have an offer from work in Blue Worm, which is a new location. It's going to be... Let me open up the big map. Got to go to the big map for this one, you heard? Okay, so figure... Each hex here is 60 miles.
yeah.
So far, you guys have not left this hex at all. This is how far away Blue Worm is. To give you an idea, you guys had your misadventure with Tom on, I think, the 13th or 14th of the previous month, and he just now arrived at Blue Worm today. So about a month of travel. On the other hand, you have cracked the riddle book.
Oh, right. The riddle book and Kana. Gus is not wanting to go to Blue Worm. He will be against
Yeah, I mean,
that.
my opinion is we should take a crack at this dungeon again now that we have the real book solved.
Yeah, we should at least investigate it first. Seeker's down for going to Blue Worm, just after they investigate it.
The other thing I'd like to do is whatever we end up having to do to finish up this bag of holding.
Okay.
Florian's position is we don't need to go to Blue Worm until the flying pig is taken care of in its entirety.
Okay. Tom pulls some strings on his end then, and manages to get ascending to somebody in Dunfoss. Essentially wires you the money, the credit.
Okay.
So you guys have assets of 3,500 for that gnarl jack.
So I think that's escrow for Choreo Fireblood in the event that we are out of town for a whole month.
Oh no, absolutely not.
No, that's armor.
That's plate mail for.
Yeah, our escrow for Choreo Fireblood is that Seeker is going to start spending his downtime actions coming up with a good excuse for them to need to go to Blue Worm. Eldov's from there, it should be pretty easy.
Right.
So the next day is the 18th. That's your next Choreo day.
Again, I say.
So,
Don't we?
so like my downtime was Choreo stuff. Was I able to find any kind of information over the last 2 weeks that these guys were spending
That's going to
training?
determine whether or not you went to speak with the king's sister. Let me get her name here. That was a noise. Sorry, just looking for the name on my end.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, I'm going to organize all of these notes. No, I'm not.
Why do you lie to yourself, Kirkwood? And why do you lie to us?
Have they ever
Hey,
been organized in?
Hey
4 years?
Florian, you had -5 gold on your personal inventory. I just paid you out the 5 gold you were missing.
-5. What was
Yep.
that for?
I don't know.
Interesting.
That sounds good. Yeah, on the 6th day,
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna pay her a visit.
Okay. And she is incredibly busy right now, obviously, but you do have someone had granted you an invite, so you're getting close to her. Just have to find...
That 6th day, by the way, was me rolling my foresight die every day, waiting until I got a good roll.
Okay.
If I need to get my way out of there, I'm good.
I can't find her information just at the moment, but what is it you're trying to get out of the conversation? Let's start there.
So we heard that she was an expert in coins. We had 2 coins that we were interested in.
Mm-hmm.
We're interested in...
The demon coins?
Yeah, the demon worshiper coins, see if we can track down anything about those, but also these coins of House Fireblood. So if she's heard anything about these coins being made, if she knows anything about who might have some.
She's a very no-nonsense person, first and foremost. Because she's a dwarf, and because she always has to keep up her appearances, because every word and action reflects directly back on her brother, who's the king. The woman you're speaking to, obviously, she is a silver wolf herself, and she's currently the overseer of the Dunfoss Mint. The Dunfoss Mint is traditionally run by the silver wolf family. When you show her the demon coins, she tells you that she's going to have to confiscate them. She cannot allow you to take these back out into the city and risk you putting them into circulation.
Take them as a gift from us.
She can't.
Did you show her all the demon coins or one of the demon coins?
I brought a couple of them.
Okay.
I always bring 2 so that I can say that they're my only one.
So, however many you take, however many you show her,
yeah.
She takes it and then she gives you the equivalent in standard Dunfoss coin.
All right.
She asks if you're carrying any more of these or know where any more can be found.
And Seeker shakes his head. That's a deception?
Yes.
The score is 19.
19?
Yeah.
Okay. She seems satisfied. And so what is it you want to know about these coins? The demon coins.
Well, first of all, I want to know why she had to confiscate them.
There was a proclamation of the crown some time ago. She tells you the story that you already know about devil worshippers or demon worshippers. Some of the noble houses caught up in them. There were, at the worst of it, there were human sacrifices being done. Blood magics. Horrible rituals, both inside of Dunfoss and in the outlying regions. And King Juliana, at the time, very early in her reign, in order to curtail this, banned the circulation of any coins bearing these kinds of marks. That actually, the Mint houses a very impressive and extensive collection of such coin over the years, having confiscated them.
And I'd say that I'm glad that I was able to help getting them off the street.
She thanks you for your service in that regard.
And regarding the Fireblood coin, is there any information she has about that? As like she knows who might have one, the story behind them, any of that?
Yeah, she knows the story behind it, and she thinks it's really dumb.
Okay. Does she have any information about current holders?
As she tells you the story, you can tell this is a woman that has nothing but extreme contempt for adventurer types. These assholes go out into the world, they get big magics and big spells, they bring home hordes of treasure, they disrupt economies, they do all kinds of dumb shit. Adventurer types come through Dunfoss all the time, nothing but trouble. But get this, sometimes they just come into town and, oh, could we talk to the king? We're big shots, we're level 8.
Oh, that's why we became investigators instead.
God bless you for it. No, Eld of Fireblood was one of these, and had some adventures over the years. Some of the myths you know, some of the stories you don't. But thought himself so important, and just because he had the magic and had access to the golds, where he got the metal, she has no idea. forged coins in his own image that people then had to accept because they were gold. If nothing else, they could be melted down and made into coins of the crown. She sees this as just extreme hubris.
Sounds like a ponce.
This...
I love it. You'll love to hear it.
The problem with this kind of wealth and getting it in that way is adventurers earn vast stores of wealth in extremely small amounts of time over the course of maybe a year or two. But all of that wealth burns out so quickly because the life expectancy of these adventurers is so short. Even the ones who are successful, they gain power, they gain wealth, they burn through all of it, and almost unilaterally leave the world worse than how they entered it.
So they're like lotto winners.
Kind of, yeah, essentially. She tells you that if you'd like to see the folly of this firsthand,
I would love to.
it's been many, many years since a silver wolf has been involved in these adventures, but hers is a wealthy family, and sometimes lesser sons of the house who are not going to make good marriages, or who don't want to mine their wealth. They want to go out and earn it. Oop, I loaded the wrong map. They want to try to earn its glory on the fields. There was a time when a man of House Silverwolf marched with Eldov, and she tells the same story of how he was going to make a river from Blue Worm all the way to the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And so Silverwolf was part of this expedition. And she tells the story of how they got lost in these woods, some of the stories of which Seeker may know.
Yeah, Seeker actually visited the woods. Just the outside of them, but
So-
look into it.
You're familiar then with the story of a tower that can be seen from the edge of the woods, no matter where you stand.
Mm-hmm.
Eldov and some of his men paid a visit to this tower before this expedition was underway, while he was still organizing the resources to get it together. And when so-and-so Silverwolf came back from the expedition, broke and badly injured and completely disillusioned with a life of adventure, he made level 3 fighter, maybe. That was it for him. Tells a story of a creature he met that dwells in that tower, in this forest, to this day. And she describes a metal creature made of bronze. A perfect cube. With great eyes on the front face, and spindly arms on the side faces, and sharp wings like a bat on the back face.
Was she joking?
Oh, no.
She's a dwarf, and dwarves don't tell jokes. This creature was said to be an ally of Eldov's, who gave him some measure of help in this expedition, which is why they set off there. And the silver wolf that was there at the time was so put off by this creature, could not believe what he was seeing. It was like a creature not from nature, certainly, but also not an elemental, not a creature of the earth and soil either. Something wholly and entirely different. She says she expects that creature lives in that tower to this day. And then she hands you back the coin.
That's very interesting. Thank you. All right, so now we have a third thing.
So is that what you're going to tell Corio?
Oh, I mean, I'm absolutely going to tell Corio the story of the tower and ask him if he's willing to fund an expedition to go look into it.
You don't have to ask him because he offers to fund an expedition. So now you have a third adventuring idea to make an expedition out to this tower.
Oh man.
I'm going to ask like this would have come up. Like if in our investigation we have to be gone
Mm-hmm.
and cannot, like if we're it's as long as we're on business.
Real
for
quick,
Corio,
before you finish that thought, nobody minds if we go over tonight, because we're already at 7 o'clock, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Fine.
Go ahead, Treble. I'm sorry.
I was fine. I was just gonna say, like, if we're on business for Corio and we're out of town and we can't pay him the bi-monthly thing, like,
Mhm.
how is that going to be handled?
No, he tells
Like,
you if you're out doing his work for him and he knows why you're gone, then he'll suspend any required payments for that period of time. That's only fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works.
Okay. On the 12th, by the way, you guys picked up another healing potion.
Yay!
I'm gonna give it to Kevin.
So that's the 18th.
Ooh. No,
then-
actually, good call. Very
Yeah,
good call.
I like that.
Nothing of actual importance happens through the 22nd, which brings us to the end of 3 full weeks. So we're going to end it there. Go ahead and you guys can take 3 weeks of downtime actions to fill up all of that time if you so choose.
I mean, Gus's downtime action was literally just
Gus, do you want to go and spend all the money we just got to get new armor for you and me?
yes.
So, yeah, go ahead and take those downtime actions. Think about what you want your blips to be, but we're going to decide which of these 3 adventures we want to pursue for next week. Number 1 is traveling to Blue Worm for Tom Wolfe's job. 2 would be to, now that you've cracked the rulebook, to go back down into the sewers. And 3 is to mount an expedition to the tower where Eldov's ally probably still dwells to this day.
Gus's
you-
vote-
You guys can discuss it. I'm going to go dark for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Gus's thing is down into the sewers. That's what he wants because he still need to find the little girl. We still need to find Kana.
Yeah, that's a thing that could happen. Did you buy full plate, Gus?
Not yet, but I will.
I mean, I subtracted 1,500 gold. Is that the correct amount for your full plate?
I think so.
I mean, that's the right. I'm just verifying. I took the money off, so you have full plate now, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and I got myself half plate.
Unless you can get me some magic full plate.
I can make it. Maybe that'll be my next research.
Get the +1. Get us all +1 weapons.
Hey,
Or armor.
Can someone do me a favor in lieu of Brick Road doing this? Because I was gonna do more gambling downtime.
Sure. You said D10s?
2d10 plus 5. Need 3
Alright.
of those.
Hey, Gus, do you want to donate our old armors to the war effort instead of selling them?
That's 19.
That's a fail.
That is a 16,
That is a pass.
and that is a 23.
Still a pass. Okay, so
I mean, we can. I don't care. Whatever, or you could just like keep my. We should keep our armor in case you need like materials, because there's a lot of metal and
Okay.
I mean,
I can just buy metal and shove it in my bag of holding once I finish it.
if Kevin was not a 10-year-old boy, I'd give him my armor.
Same. I think he's probably taller than me.
He's too big for your armor, too small for mine. Yes.
Yeah.
another once more.
Okay. Just one more, or 3 more.
I'm gonna need 3 more. Yeah.
That is a 15,
Fail.
a 18,
Fail.
and a 23.
Break even. Okay, and so one more set of that for another week.
That is a 23.
Fail.
That is a 16.
Fail.
That is an 18.
That's another fail. So I lose money. I break even at the end when it's all said and done. I break even.
Okay.
So, let me just go ahead and roll for complications on all of those then.
All right. 75 GP on the chainmail, so it's just like 6 of one, half dozen another. It's like 55 pounds of metal though.
Who was the most creative?
Florian, Magic Mouth.
I'm good with that.
Yep. Who furthered the party's goals the most today?
It has to be Seeker because of the going and actually advancing Fireblood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Right at the end, yeah. Who was a badass today?
Gus for training 10-year-olds?
And who was intangible today?
Okay.
I'm gonna say give badass to Lucius for choosing like Florian already got one, but Lucius also picked a 10 on that, and I'm gonna say give intangibles to I had something for intangibles. No, to Alex for I had something, I don't remember what it is.
You want to give Lucius badass because he also wanted 10.
Yeah.
In terms of okay.
All right. I have to give Lulu this medication. It's like liquid medication. When you have a puppy, you got to do it like by syringe. So you have to like wrench their head open and get it all the way to the back of their throat and inject it in there and then slam their head shut to force them to swallow it. And she doesn't like doing any part of that.
Oh, I got it for intangibles. I'll bring it up when we get to it.
Okay.
Also, before I continue, I just want to give a quick shout out to, in chat, good old Mott. Mott has been donating to the D&D stream pretty much every week, showing up. I'm not actually able to watch chat while I'm running a game, but I want to make sure that you know that your contributions are not ignored and are greatly appreciated. Thank you very much, my friend.
Yes, thank you very much.
Lulu agrees. That's actually probably not Lulu. That's probably Edgar. Let me go solve that problem, and then I'll come back and hear what you guys have to say about books and stuff.
The idea is I lost it. Shh. My brain just went bork, and it just washed away everything.
So we'll have to ask Brickard who it was and blame it on the dog then. The appropriate dog.
Are we going to go into the sewers next time? Is that what we picked?
Yeah, I think
I'm fine with that.
Because we need
I
to.
really want to settle the flying pig stuff before we do
Yeah.
All right.
any venturing outside of Dunfoss.
Now you actually have choice of 4 adventures for the next chapter, I suppose. The 3 I mentioned, or you guys could go north to war and fight zombies and stuff.
Yeah, no.
We could do that.
Go save Kevin.
Operation Save Kevin. Okay, so who wants to make cases for their personality traits first?
I'll go.
Gus.
All right. Neutral good. I must be a benefactor and strive to leave things in a better state than I found it. For my indication that, no, you should not shoot this man. He hasn't wronged me enough for you to kill him. Like, even though they were like, And then I just was like, maybe I should just get back in the stocks. It'll cause everybody too much trouble.
Wouldn't want to be a bother.
Wouldn't want to be a bother. Ideals, my companions are my support structure, and I must do what I can to protect them from themselves. For teaching Kevin how to, just 3 weeks of boot camp. You know? And that's in the video, and I don't have anything else.
No drunk Gus this week.
No, didn't have enough time.
And what did Gus? So you spent all 3 of that weeks of downtime action.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Every moment of downtime that I could get, those two people walked away. Kevin and I can't.
Elman.
What is his name? Elman. Friend by association. Elman in particular. Like, if I couldn't teach him how to fight, I was going to teach him how to use a shield and not die.
Okay.
Like, that was when I found out he just sucked. That was what defense, armor, and shield proficiency was where I went with him.
3 weeks is not enough to learn any kind of combat proficiency.
Right.
But he's definitely better off than he was. He's not going to just immediately poop himself and die.
Right.
Good.
Like, it was 3 weeks of you watch Kevin's back while he swings the mace. You just stand there and hold a shield and just block blows and yeah.
All right, who wants to go next?
Florian will go.
Florian.
All right. True neutral. Sometimes you have laws, but laws also are restrictive. Sometimes you have to be good, but there's no way to define good. For suggesting that raping and pillaging would not be fun enough as a reason for a 10-year-old not to join the war.
So, but if the enemy was if Blue Worm was invading, then it would be fine.
Hard to say. It's a completely different situation. Well, maybe, yeah.
Okay.
Does Florian not do hypotheticals or only do hypotheticals?
He absolutely is only hypotheticals.
Just to be clear,
yeah,
definitely putting Florian down for no non-consensual sex with a dead creature.
definitely not.
100%. We know where Florian stands on this issue.
Yes.
Okay.
But only non-consensual.
Jeez.
Vampire comes along.
All four of my characters, you might get a different answer to that question.
Do you have any more?
Yes.
Okay.
Ideals. There are infinite truths. We must experience as many as we can and figure out their validity. We're thinking getting proficient in jeweler's tools will help them understand a jewel's history better. That is not at all what getting proficient in jeweler's tool does, but that's what he thinks.
Okay.
So great. Flaws. There's no such thing as a lie for believing that Lucius likes Tia.
Oh, right. So you would change your flaw.
Yeah.
It's an excellent flaw.
Okay.
And Florian has spent the 3 weeks of downtime obviously one day doing guild dues, the other learning proficiency in jeweler's tools, which you will be happy to know there was a complication.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to roll for that?
There's a training I already did.
Okay.
Your teacher is a spy sent to learn your plans. With an asterisk, might involve a rival.
Oh,
So have fun with that.
that's easy enough. That's
That's what's her name.
we'll just determine that Caitlin Chubb got wind of you learning jeweler's tools and trying to figure out why. And you,
All right.
somehow you caught her. Like, she's not there peering through your window in person, but you figured out that she's gotten wind of this and she's trying to figure out why you're doing it.
Okay.
Poor Caitlin will never
Now,
understand.
part of the complication is like they've learned your plans. Is that it?
Your teacher is a spy sent to learn your plans.
Okay.
Might involve a rival.
Jokes on her.
So
Florian
your
doesn't
plan is to learn jeweler's tools. Like, also a pearl's not a jewel. Like, it's mucus.
I'm sure Florian will learn that as he
So-
gets proficient.
So Caitlin Chubb has probably spent a lot of time figuring out what you're trying to do, and when she figured it out, just Picard.jpg.
That, or she has convinced herself it's an elaborate smokescreen and Florian is a genius.
We'll figure out which as I develop this information. Is that it for Florian?
Yes, that is all three for Florian.
Who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Lucius.
I have my alignment, lawful neutral, check your place in society and work well for your fellow people, take care of your own, for making the case to Sigurd Ten Sails about contributing to this war effort.
Okay.
I have ideals, knowledge is paramount, for going all in on trying to trace down Canduus.
Okay.
And getting and for 40 gold pour for it, and then my flaws for Double or Nothing for this 3 weeks of downtime gambling that I did. I had Treble give me some DCs.
Okay.
And upshot is absolutely nothing changed. No complications, and I broke even across the whole.
So you spent the whole 3 weeks gambling,
and have nothing to show for it.
Okay. Who's next?
I'll go.
Alex, go ahead.
So alignment, lawful, neutral. Always be willing to take the law into your own hands, but no further. For his ridiculous idea of doing See Invisible and then comparing what he saw with Seeker at the King's Proclamation.
I mean, not a bad idea. Not a terrible idea at all.
Flaw, I'm sure we can handle this for... Oh, yeah, no, we're sending Kevin.
The speed at which you suggested that. I thought it was going to be this grand moment. Like, oh, you guys get back to the barge, and there's Kevin ready to go. But you had took the wind right out of my sails and defeated that moment.
I'm going to make a case for one I don't usually use, Bond to Flumph Inc. for doing our taxes for the last however many sessions.
Well, I can't give you a blip for your bond. It's only good for alignment, ideal, and flaw.
That was the intangibles.
Okay.
That's a really good intangible, sure.
And so Alex spent some portion, 6 days of this downtime, making armor, and then some other portion of it doing bag of holding stuff.
And then I had a few days left during which I want to use my Tinkerer's tools to build in a very specific water clock that tracks the exact amount of time the Black Cloaks have between their patrols.
You mean the moss caps?
Yeah, which one is guarding the entrance
Moss
to the dungeon?
caps.
The moss caps? Yeah. Yeah, the exact amount of time between moss cap shifts, and so that when we're underground, we know when to come back up.
Yeah, okay.
I've as long as it costs less than 50 gold, I can get that out there too.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
I don't mind you making a weird Artificer stopwatch thing. And Seeker.
All right, I have opportunities everywhere, if you can see it, for taking the meeting to look into Dacianari's potential spouse, and instead also doing some magic item smuggling on the side.
Yep.
I've got anybody can be fooled, except for me, for agreeing to do some light crime against the king, some light treason, and investigate the alchemist. And I've got chaotic good. Good is only taking from those that can afford it. Chaos is taking them for all they're worth. For haggling to the very absolute limit where he wouldn't work with me anymore on selling magical items.
That insight check was the difference between having a contact you can use in the future and not, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And what is Seeker doing for 3 weeks of downtime?
Seeker we've been fighting a bunch of magical creatures that keep doing absolute, complete, 100% nonsense to us. Seeker is going to spend the entire 3 weeks researching magical creatures and foes to see if later in the future he can remember a few choice bits of lore.
So you're doing the research action?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's going to require some attention on my part to resolve here.
Mm-hmm.
I have a player in my Saturday game who I think she's racked up like 4 pieces of research. I think she cashed in 2 of them last night. So I'm well versed in using this downtime action now. I just have to find it in the book here. Did you already make the rolls and stuff?
No, I can do those now.
Okay. Let me actually get in here with the rules if I can find them. Do you know what page in Xanathars they're on? I can never find these quickly.
No, I don't know the page. It's chapter 2, Downtime Revisited, though. I know that.
I know that much. All right, we'll find it.
Sorry.
Research is 132.
Thank you. Okay, so a little further back than I was thinking. Okay.
The first roll is a 24.
Hold on, let me get to that page real quick. Okay.
Second roll is 22.
Okay.
The third roll, let's roll that die, is a 11.
11. So you're specifically researching magical creatures?
Yeah, I'm researching, yeah.
Okay, so here's what this amounts to. That's 3 plus 3 plus 2 pieces of lore, so you can mark down that you have 8 bits of information.
Mm-hmm.
These can be cashed in anytime you're fighting a monster that you want to know something very specific about.
Okay.
Do you have any complications? You have a 10% chance per week.
All right. Let me toss those out real quick. We'll say always roll high, so a 1 is a complication. First complication. No. And no. And the complication is... Let's roll a d6. You uncovered useful lore, but only by promising to complete a dangerous task in return.
So, what dangerous task did you promise to complete, and who did you promise it to?
I'm going to say...
Tell you what, don't answer this question now.
Yeah.
Let's just roll that into whatever our next adventure is.
Okay. Sounds good.
Well, we'll make it extra dangerous, and we'll make sure only you can do it.
Sounds great. Love getting extra danger.
All right, so I think that's going to do it for tonight's. Let me add up the blips here. Oh, we didn't give out some blips. What's the most creative solution to a problem this session?
That was
Florian for the magic mouth.
right. Magic mouth.
That's a solution to. I feel like this is just its own problem.
Okay.
It's a solution to a problem we didn't have, but it's still a solution.
What's the most creative problem that now needs a solution this session?
We could never give it to Florian if we weren't going to use that as the rating.
Who furthered the party's goals the most?
That was Seeker for actually doing some investigation into the most pressing.
Firebloods.
Yeah, Fireblood, which is, I'm not gonna say it's the most pressing thing we have, but it's the thing that requires the most attention.
Who was the badass?
That was Gus for training a 10-year-old child how to break undead kneecaps.
Oh, I thought we were giving it to Lucius for wanting it.
Oh no, it was Lucius. Yeah, no, Lucius. Yeah. Lucius for asking for a 10 after Florian already asked for a 10.
I was gonna take the average because both of them like.
So that was real easy for you. You didn't have to do any math.
Right? Yeah, super easy. What about intangibles? Oh, I also didn't set the straw poll. I'll do that.
That was Alexander for walking up on Kevin, and then after saying no, let's send Kevin to work, and then immediately sizing him up for armor. Oh, and also or doing the taxes. One of the two.
I like both.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and post the straw poll in the chat here. If you guys want to go ahead and vote for who wants to get another extra blip, and we're giving it to Alex. And while the votes are coming in, so yeah, we have like I guess 4 adventures. We can go back down into the sewers. We can go check out this tower. We can go meet Tom Wolf in Blue Worm, or we could go to war in the Dwarven homes. Have you guys talked it over at all?
No, we
I
didn't
think
talk it
I
over
wanna do
at all.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But the sewers was the leading one. Is there anyone
Yeah,
who
the
doesn't want to do the sewers?
I think we need to take care of the flying pig before we go really do anything else.
Yeah,
The
we
I'm
flying
kind
pig-
of in agreement.
because the flying pig is a threat to Dunfoss.
It's also a threat on our lives.
I mean, I would
and our
have personally
boat.
voted for the tower, but I'm completely okay with the sewers, so let's do it.
But we-
Yeah,
we
Seeker's
could-
vote is the tower,
To be very clear,
but he's okay with the sewers.
the other stuff will still be there.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
We can
Yeah.
do this other
So-
stuff later.
Tower.
I think it makes the most sense to look into the sewers now because we're here.
I,
And then,
Also,
like,
just built a sweet water clock that's programmable to get us back out.
it doesn't seem very in character for any of you to finally crack this riddle book, then be like, but not right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So I will make sure I have that.
But that
adventure
tower's
planned.
coming next.
Yeah, I think the tower should be next. That would be my vote.
Yeah.
Unless somebody else has a better thing, and you can bribe me into going to Blue Worm.
And Florian has our straw poll for this week, so let's go ahead and
I
give
think-
out.
I think what we should do is we should investigate the tower, find evidence in the tower that leads us to Blue Worm, and get Corio to pay us to go to Blue Worm.
Oh, I'm 100% with you, except for regards to finding evidence.
So we'll
So
just
you're
tell
saying
him we
we
found
manufacture-
evidence.
We need to find an excuse.
Yeah, because he'll suspend the debt collection while we're out of town on work for him. So
I half think he'll pay for us for a sending stone. We'll report in on the 15th of every month. Don't worry.
So right now, everybody has their full complement of blips except Gus had 5, and nobody
Yes.
spent any. blips right now are we're not we're level 5 still, yes.
6.
6.
Six.
Gus hit 6. That's why he's got 5. Okay, so blips are worth 300. Alex has earned 3. Florian earned 5. Gus earned 3. Lucius earned 4. And Seeker earned 4. Everybody's got to roll them all over except Gus. Gus, would you like to go in next week with 6?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's rolling over 2.
Rolling over 2. Is everybody going to go in with next week with 6?
Yeah.
Let me look at where my EXP total is.
Yeah, I'm going into a dungeon with 6 blips, yes.
I'm going to try to find another monster with a typo in their damage and then pretend like it's not a typo. That's what I'm going to spend this week doing.
As long as it kills Seeker again, because I promised to throw his body into the ocean.
Congratulations.
300, right?
You're
To be
not
fair,
actually
Drunk
done.
Gus promised that.
Yeah, blips are worth 300 right now. Highest level is 6. So we come back next week. I mean, I gave my players option of 4 adventures, and they chose the sewer level. So it's on them, I feel. Thanks for playing,
Adventures
guys.
always go into the sewers. It's like
I'm taking the
Adventure
3.
Cabinet.
Just taking the 900 from those 3.
So you're going to go in next week with 3?
No, I'll go in with 6.
Okay, so everybody's going with 6.
Can't make it to 6th level by cashing everything else in. Almost.
All right. Thanks, guys, for playing. See y'all next Sunday.
Uh-huh.
Peace out.
Later.
See ya.